Hello everyone, my name is Benny Ferguson, and the title of this video is that each of us has been conditioned to our conditions. What I mean is that everything that's happening in your life, relationships, finances, health, it's been taught to you. The experiences that you have, they've been given to you. Whether when you was a child or as you've grown up, you've seen them happen, you've seen them going on outside of you, probably with a loved one or in the life of your family or friends, close friends, and you've been conditioned to your conditions. And I've got three examples for you, either are happening right now or have happened in the past with, people that have been, widely in the news. One is an NFL player that has presently suspended from playing. He was a star on his team, a star running back, and he got suspended from playing in the NFL period for striking his wife in the elevator. Now, this is not to say that any of these behaviors are correct, but what I will say is, knowing how the mind works, this gentleman was conditioned to his behavior, meaning that he has seen it before. He may have seen it with his parents. He may have seen it with other loved ones in his family, but he'd been conditioned to that behavior. Many of us have been in arguments with our spouse or our partner, and actually striking them doesn't even come as an option. It's not even an option. But for this gentleman, it was an option. And the reason it was an option is not because he just decided to do it at that moment. It's because he had seen it before. And it was a normal thing for him. And he may have never behaved like that before, but in that heated argument, in that moment, that idea, that behavior bubbled up inside of him, and it was probably his only choice. It was the only thing, and it came up, and he acted, and afterward he wished he hadn't. How many of us have done something we wish we hadn't? After the fact, looking back, we wish we hadn't have done it. We wish we hadn't have said it. But where did behavior come from? Many times we've said we weren't going to do something, and we did it anyway. Where did the behavior come from? Well, you've been conditioned to that behavior. It's in your subconscious, and you can't override your subconscious with conscious thinking. You have to reprogram yourself. Another example, a popular singer who at the time was dating a female popular singer, and he struck her in the car. The same thing. Now, I know this for a fact. I read this in the numerous articles where he described how he had seen that behavior growing up. He had seen an adult male in his life in heated arguments and frustrated with his spouse or partner, and he would strike the female. And they would often fight and that type thing, and that's what he saw. And because that's what he saw, even the most well-intentioned person, I'll never behave that way, he did it. In the heat of the moment, he did it because it was his option given by his subconscious mind, and many times it was just a reaction. It was the reaction that he had been taught as a child. Third example, we have another NFL player who is in trouble, got suspended for a game, has court stuff going on for whooping his child. Whooped his son, months ago, this past summer, with a switch. Now, and they're talking about possibly having jail time for it. Now, I don't know what type of injury they're talking about that he inflicted on the child. I don't know if there was welts on the skin or actually broke the skin and the child was bleeding. And again, I'm not saying that's okay, but I'm going to tell you what, many of us have experienced that. Many of us were taught, what was the saying, you spare the rod, spoil the child, and many times, that's the only option. That's what we were given. Unless you reprogram yourself, that's what it comes to. And we don't know how the child was behaving. And again, I'm not saying that his behavior was right. I'm saying that you're conditioned to your conditions, and your behaviors have been programmed into you. Again, in your finances, in your health, in your relationships, your conditions, you've been conditioned to your conditions, and your behaviors have been programmed into you. Now, how do you change your conditions? Well, you change your conditions and you change the results that you get in your life by changing your behaviors. And the only way you change your behaviors is to change the programming in your subconscious mind. And I don't mean it's not just sitting around thinking positive thoughts and saying, I'm going to do better, or I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that. No, you have to reprogram yourself subconsciously. You have to drive in with passion. You have to drive in beliefs that will drive you toward the end that you desire. And that's it. We've been conditioned to our conditions, and you have to change your programming to change your conditions. I'm Benny Ferguson. You can find out more about this by visiting us at www.mindingthediamondwithin.com to begin to learn how to choose to be brilliant in every area of your life. Thank you.